Well, smoothies are very trendy these days, but in order to make a really smooth smoothie, you need a proper blender. That's what I want to show you today. That's a blender from Royal Catering. Some technical details first. It works with 1500 watts. You just plug it in and you're ready to go. It works with 32,000 rotations per minute. And as you can see on the display, you can go from low, medium up to high. So you can sort of regulate those rotations. So you start with 13,000 and then you can crank it up to 32,000. Also, while we're still at the controls, you can also choose automatic mode. So if you want to work hands off and you know how long it's going to take to make a perfect smoothie, because you've done it by the hundreds, of course you can just set the time straight away, and this will actually go up to 32,000 rotations automatically. What is a really cool feature is the fact that it will start slow at the beginning and then it will automatically speed up as it goes. Also, very important function is the pulse function, which is great that you have it. So the pulse function means that when you turn it off, you can sort of chop something really quickly. It will go straight up to the highest rotation possible. And when you release the button, basically you can turn it off. All right, in the set you're getting a jug with a capacity of 2 liters. With the jug, there's a couple of things I want to mention. First of all, the lid. The lid needs to produce a really nice seal. Otherwise, when you start blending and when you fill it up to the top, well, to the maximum marking, that's also very important to watch. If you overfill it, it will just not blend properly. So up to 2 liters maximum. When you start and the top is not properly attached and doesn't produce a nice seal, it will just leak leak over and will be really messy. Really cool feature as well that you need to look for in the blender, and this one has it, is a hole plugged, of course, on the top. So when you, this is especially very important when you're doing dressings and you need to add, let's say, oil or aiolis or mayonnaise, and when you need to add oil gradually while the device is operating. So that's what this is for. Also in the set there is a plunger or tamper, as you will. So if you're blending something really thick and you see it stopped or blocked, you can sort of push it down in order to achieve proper results. So that's really cool. On the internet I've found a few questions that are being repeatedly asked, and the first one is what the blade is made of, and it's made of high-grade quality stainless steel. That's important because if you're blending a lot, you want the blade to last for a long time. The better the steel, the longer it lasts, obviously, and the sharper it will get, and it will stay sharp as well. Really cool fun fact is that you can take out the blade, the blending unit, let's call it. Also, the blending unit can be furtherly disassembled, so when there's a need to sharpen it, you can sort of unscrew it, take the blades off, sharpen it, put them back together, and you have a sharp blade with no need to change the blade unit, as it is the case with some blenders on the market. So that's really cool. Also very cool for cleaning. Obviously, if you are cleaning on the go, all you need to do is just put some detergent in it, some water up to 1/3 of the capacity, set it up for a minute, and let it run for a minute. Obviously, after a while, it will be really clean. All you need to do is just rinse it out, dry it, and that's it. For a thorough clean, however, it's great that you can disassemble it, because you can put all the parts into the dishwasher and obviously get it properly sanitized. So that's really important, especially when you blending different stuff, different foods, let's say garlic, or you're doing purees for production in the kitchen, and then you're doing smoothies in the same jug. It is important that you can sanitize it and properly clean it. When reassembling, very important that you check the seal on the base, that you properly align it, and when you screw it back on, it needs to be tight. There's actually markings which side to turn to close. It needs to be really tight, but not too tight. I know that sounds tricky, but you have to sort of remember that you don't want to create a leak. So when it's too loose, it will leak. If it's too tight, you won't be able to open it afterwards. So it just sort of needs to be somewhere in the middle, not too tight, but tight. All right. Second question very often asked is whether it can crush ice. So when you're doing smoothies, milkshakes and such, that is really important. So instead of telling you, let me show you. So first, just put some ice in, just like so, and let's make a very berry smoothie. So I'm using different berries, strawberries, raspberries. Also I have some pomegranate, blueberries, and just to make it really healthy, I'm using also linseed. So a bit of that. All right, let's put it on. Important feature is the safety right there. So the device will not work without it. But the cool thing is, you can put it in different positions and it will still do the job. So, lid down, plug in. One piece of advice coming from a chef, trust me on this one. Whenever you start blending, always hold on to the lid. I know it produces a nice seal, I know it's a brand new piece of equipment, so it is still nice and firm on the top, but it's a good habit to have. Whenever you start blending, hold on to the top, because especially when you're blending hot stuff, when you start rotating it, it will expand quite rapidly. And well, it creates some pressure, it may pop the lid and repaint your whole kitchen, and you don't want that. All right, so just always hold on to it. I know it's going to take approximately a minute, so let's just press 60 seconds. All right, that's done. So let's check it. I reckon that already did the job quite well. So let's pour it into a glass, just like so. Oh, look how smooth that is. There you go. That's your very berry smoothie. All right, so it does the job quite well. For me, it's absolutely good enough. I hope I answered all your questions and told you everything about it. I thank you guys for watching, and I see you next time.